Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you are an experienced professional, and especially if you're over 40 and looking for a job right now, we seriously need to talk about your resume format. Because the reality is, most of the standard career advice floating around out there was written for a 28-year-old with exactly one page of experience. When you're 45, 50, or 55, applying that same advice doesn't just fail you, it can actively damage your candidacy. Today, we're going to fix that. We're going to break down the 3 primary resume formats, figure out why 2 of them are quietly sabotaging you, and show you exactly how to build the one format that actually gets the job done.
Here's what we're covering today. First, the resume format squeeze. Second, the functional failure. Third, the chronological trap. Fourth, the hybrid solution. And finally, building your hybrid resume.
All right, Section 1, the resume format squeeze, or as I like to call it, the dual gatekeeper problem.
So there are really only 3 resume formats out there. But here's the brutal truth for us experienced pros. 2 of those formats are literally working against you. And it all boils down to who or what is actually reading your resume.
It's a classic double bind. On one hand, you've got the applicant tracking system, the ATS. This software is basically just a timeline extraction engine, right? It desperately needs structured data, your employers, titles, start dates, and end dates, over and over again. On the other hand, you've got the human recruiter. They want to see your skills and the immediate value you bring, up front. But, and this is a massive but, if they even sense you are hiding your timeline, red flags go up immediately. So you're stuck in a trap. Give the software the dates and you expose your age, hide the dates, and the humans don't trust you.
Moving on to Section 2, the functional failure, and why hiding your dates completely backfires.
Now, the functional format sounds pretty seductive at first, doesn't it? Just organize everything around your skills, ditch the chronological job list, and boom, no dates. It feels like the ultimate shield against age bias, but the second the human recruiter looks at a purely functional resume, this question right here is exactly what pops into their head. What are they hiding? Recruiters see thousands of these, and their pattern recognition is off the charts. To them, a functional format screams that you're trying to cover up a gap, a demotion, a job-hopping pattern, or, you guessed it, your age.
So, by trying to play it safe, you've actually put yourself under the interrogation lamp. You haven't hidden anything, you've just signaled that you might be. And it honestly gets even worse when the ATS gets a hold of it. Because you separated your accomplishments from the actual jobs where they happened, the software hits a literal brick wall. It has no idea which win belongs to which company. So what happens? It either scrambles your data into a total mess or drops it completely. You've essentially starved the parser of the exact structured data it rewards, tanking your match score for reasons that have absolutely zero to do with your actual skills. It's just the worst of both worlds.
Okay, Section 3, the chronological trap. Let's talk about the danger of the 25-year timeline.
This brings us to what we call the full history problem. Look, if you're listing every single position all the way back to your first gig out of college and say 1998, you're not just showing your experience. You are handing over a complete career timeline that acts as an instant date of birth calculator. I mean, a hiring manager scanning page 2 sees 1997 to 2001, and they just do the math in their head automatically. In a hiring process that's often already riddled with unconscious bias, giving away your age before they've even read about your biggest wins can shut the door on you right then and there.
And honestly, even if we pretend age bias doesn't exist for a second, what you did back in 1999 is rarely what's going to get you hired today. Hiring managers really only care about the last 10 to 15 years. Every single line you waste detailing a 2-decade-old job is just noise. It's drowning out your best, most recent work. Oh, and we can't forget the graduation day trap. Pure reverse chronological resumes almost always slap a date right next to your degree, like BA 1996. That single line is a neon sign flashing your age, and it adds zero credibility to your actual degree. So sure, this format makes the software happy, but it totally throws you under the bus when it comes to age exposure.
Which brings us to Section 4, the hybrid solution, the absolute best of both worlds for experienced professionals.
Let's look at how this all stacks up. The functional format? It fails the ATS, and it fails at protecting you because it makes recruiters suspicious. The chronological format? It passes the ATS, sure, but totally fails age protection by laying out that 25-year timeline. But the hybrid format, some people call it a combination format, is the only option that scores a solid pass across the board. It literally extracts the best parts of the other 2 approaches and just tosses the weaknesses in the trash.
Here is why the hybrid is such a game changer. First, it kicks off with a skills-forward summary right at the top.
This hands the human recruiter exactly what they're looking for, your immediate value, framed on your terms, before they even glance at your work history. You lead with value. Second, it maintains a clean, dated reverse chronological timeline. Since your accomplishments stay locked to specific jobs, the ATS gets that structured data and those keywords it's so hungry for. And finally, it aggressively trims that timeline down to just the last 10 to 15 years. You prove your worth with hard history, but you completely avoid handing over that birth year calculator. It totally neutralizes those age signals.
All right, Section 5, Building Your Hybrid Resume. Let's get right into the step-by-step layout.
Let's build this thing. We're starting at the very top of the document, your absolute prime real estate. Step 1 is your contact info. And pro tip, keep this in the actual body of the document, not up in the header, because ATS software loves to just strip headers out completely. Include your city, state, phone, LinkedIn, and a current professional email. Please, no full street addresses. Step 2 is the professional summary. Think of this as a 3 to 4 line, punchy, value-forward hook. Ditch the outdated objective statements, and definitely do not use phrases like seasoned veteran with 25+ years. Frame your experience as capability, not just tenure. Then step 3 is core competencies. Give them a nice, clean, scannable block of 9 to 12 skills. You can use commas or a simple 2-line list. This is basically keyword food for the ATS right off the bat.
Moving down to the middle section, where we satisfy the parser and really build your credibility. Step 4 is professional experience. This has to be reverse chronological, but tightly capped at your last 10 to 15 years. For each role, list the employer, title, and dates, followed by 3 to 5 achievement bullets containing action verbs and real metrics. Now, step 5 is where the magic happens, the earlier career section. You take everything you did before that 15-year cutoff and you condense it into one single undated line. Something like earlier career, progressive engineering, and team lead roles at Fortune 500 manufacturers. See what we did there? It shows immense depth and experience, but completely hides the timeline.
Let's wrap up the layout at the bottom of the page. Step 6 is education. Put down your degree and the institution and stop right there. Do not include your graduation year. Dropping that year instantly kills one of the most glaring neon age signals on the whole page. Finally, step 7 is certifications and recent development. If you can list a recent certificate, like something you picked up in 2024 or 2025, that is incredibly powerful. It quietly tells the hiring manager, hey, I'm actively investing in my own relevance, and destroys any assumption that your skills might be out of date.
But listen, none of this brilliant layout strategy matters if the file itself is a technical disaster. So here's your final formatting checklist. Keep it to a simple single-column layout. Use totally standard section headings, like professional experience, so the ATS actually knows where it is. Never, ever use tables of text boxes. They will break the parsing, and always save it as a clean docx file. This hybrid format is only going to protect you if the software can actually read it cleanly. Now, shifting to a hybrid format is 100% the right move, but the devil is always in the details, right? Did you trim that 15-year window correctly? Did an old grad date accidentally slip through? Is your skills block parsable, or did it randomly turn into a table? To give yourself total peace of mind, you should definitely run it through passthescan.com. Their AI analysis scans your resume specifically for ATS compatibility, and it flags those sneaky age-revealing signals that sink so many experienced candidates, giving you the exact recommendations to fix them.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on today. Pull up the document you're sending out right now and ask yourself, does your resume lead with what you can do, or is it just quietly broadcasting your age? By switching to a hybrid format, you take back control of your own narrative. You make the software happy, you earn the recruiter's trust, and you turn decades of hard-earned experience into the undeniable asset it's supposed to be. Thanks so much for joining me today, and happy building.